Tommy, thank you very much for coming to join us
problem.
in the Sky Zone. Second victory of the season for you at the French Open. Immaculate golf on the final day.
Thank
Did you get a chance to celebrate?
Not particularly. I had a couple of beers and then on the way from the airport to home we picked up a Domino's pizza and that was that.
The life that you
The life, yeah, that's it. Celebrate properly.
What gave you most satisfaction about that win? Because we were so impressed with the way you controlled your game, particularly on the last day. But Saturday, I know you felt that the way you scrambled impressed you as well.
Yeah, I think you know there is a lot of emphasis put on my ball striking all the time, and I know clearly that is my strength in general. But Saturday I was able to show a different side. I actually feel like Saturday did more for me in the tournament than Sunday did. You know, it's very easy when you're playing great to feel like you can shoot a score, but Saturday was the one where I hung in there. Had to stay patient to stay in the tournament really, and Sunday just I arrived with a great game, and yeah, I think most of the day I felt confident, I felt comfortable. Towards the end of the round, especially on the last few holes, I actually felt like I couldn't hit it right. So if anything, I was going to strong club face it, I was going to shut it down and hit it left. So I actually stood up and I could hit it hard. And without having a right in the game, it was a lovely feeling. And I was like 15, 16, 18 the second shot, stuff like that.
Let's see you hit one, because you are striking the ball absolutely beautifully right now. I've given you a 6-iron.
Sometimes, yeah.
So let's just see you demonstrate one, and then I'll pick your brains about your technique a little bit.
Are we going anywhere in particular?
Well, wherever you'd like.
As long as I miss you, we're all right.
Yes, exactly, yeah. Lovely. Now, you've said you're swinging the club better than you ever have. You worked with Alan Thompson, your coach, and you called him the best coach in the world. Obviously, it's really working right now. What has he helped you with? What's the main thing that's turned you from a very good player into a great player?
The first thing and the main thing when we started working again last year was I was really disorientated, and by that I mean I was playing with a really strong club face, which my club face is a bit strong anyway. But I had it stronger than I would like. I was aiming right and swinging right to basically try and counter that. So if I hit something 20 yards right, it would actually be a straight shot, and I didn't know that in myself. So we had to do a lot of work on setup, a lot of work on me knowing what was a good shot on the range, because it's all right coming in hitting balls, but you could be pulling it or pushing it if you don't know where your alignment is. And you go on the course and then you're all out of sync. So that was the first thing for us. We really worked on trying to square the club face off as much as we can, and then swing down lines, swing down my feet lines, swing down straight lines, and actually swing at the target. So if I was to aim at the 200 and swing at the 200, well, if I knew my plane was good and I hit it left, I'd know that my club face was the one that turned it. You know, so from there it's a lot easier to actually coach and a lot easier to make decisions from that.
And so you hit one more then. The viewers at home love to watch you guys crush these medium irons away. Again, absolutely flushed, crushed against the mat there. We know that there's a lot of talk about positions in a golf swing, but the only position that really matters is impact. That's the one that affects where the ball goes. A lot of club golfers, when I ask them about impact, and particularly if I ask them to pose an impact, they don't really know what to do. They say, well, isn't it the same as address? It isn't. Can you explain and demonstrate for us? If you show us your ordinary address position and we look at it from the face on camera, just show us the address position to start with.
So yeah, so if I aim that way, so 6-iron, it's just inside my left heel really.
Okay, so your hands are at that point, what, fractionally ahead of the ball?
Yeah, I mean,
Weight's even on the feet?
Tomo likes them level with the ball, and he likes me shifted more that way, which I always struggle with. I have a tendency to get this way, but he likes it more that way, really.
Okay, and now show us impact position if you pose it for us.
So if I went into impact, you have a lot more, well, I mean, you have a lot more legs in it, you'll have a bit more lean, and your body will be more open than you think, so basically.
Your hips are now open to where they started, your weight's more on your left side, your hands are forward. And all these things are to compress the ball against the turf and get really good contact, yeah? Basically,
yeah. Everybody has their own individual funks. My head stays back a long way, but part of that is I mean, my spine works well, just my head hangs back, and part of that is me making time for myself. If I took that out of my game, then it wouldn't be the same swing. But generally, yeah, there's a lot more moving parts than people think to a golf swing, otherwise you've got no power in it.
Tell us how you start your downswing, because that's another question the viewers ask a lot, is how do these guys initiate their downswing? What's the first thing to move? Can you demonstrate that for us?
Yeah, again, for me, the squarer I am with the club face and the more I'm playing helps. My problem is I tend to get ahead of it a bit, catch it a bit late. Again, part of that for me is always fighting a strong club face, so a lot of it, if I was shut, I could counter it by getting well out of the way, and then the club would catch up and glance it, and it'd go straight that way, which is correcting an error with an error, but it'd work. So for me, on the way down, I feel like I'd press my feet into the ground. I'd like to use the ground, so I always feel like if I can get really grounded with my feet, kind of a kickstart, and if I just let it fall from there, I like the feeling of my right elbow coming ahead of me, so I try and let the club fall without me doing anything. I don't try and sort of pull down or anything.
Another demonstration, please. We can't get enough of you hitting the ball as solidly as you do.
Yeah, I'll try. Do you want me to hit one or just a...
Yeah, no, hit one for us.
All right.
Let's have a nice flush 6-iron again.
No problem.
So what are you actually thinking? You talked a lot about technique there, and there's a lot going on,
Yeah.
obviously, in your thought process there, but actually standing over the ball, what are you thinking?
Not a lot. Think about my rhythm more than anything. Like I say, the rhythm in my transition is probably the most important part of my swing. Well, the most important part is my setup, but after that, we do so much work on that. The rest of it is generally, for me, is the rhythm in my transition. I have to let that happen. It's so easy to try and hit it. So easy to try and hit a driver as hard as you can. It's so easy to sort of, in between clubs, pick the shorter one and then try and get that bit extra out of it, and all that just affects your timing, gets you out of sync. So yeah, for the at the moment, mostly it's about rhythm, and if anything, if I was struggling with, I'd struggle with a shut club face if anything, and that would mean I would have to basically lie angle it, try and get my hands lower through impact, and those would be my only two thoughts really.
Fascinating to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for coming down. I know as the leader of the race to Dubai, you're in big demand, so really appreciate your time. Thank you very much indeed.
I can handle it. Thank you, Tim.
Thanks a lot.